When John blows his nose, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss story. It's this horrible honking that's louder than a trumpet.
For more than 2 decades, the marriage of celebrity chef Rachael Ray and lawyer-musician John Cusimano has been presented to the public as a picture of perfect stability, representing one of the most steadfast and drama-free relationships in the entertainment industry. Their union seemed remarkably free of the loud divorces, shocking scandals, and public crises that so often accompany celebrity life. Throughout it all, John Cusimano has consistently maintained a quiet, almost invisible presence in the media, embodying the role of a steadfast and supportive husband who preferred the background. However, that carefully maintained curtain has recently begun to part, revealing a far more complex reality. On her own podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, Rachael Ray made a startling admission, speaking for the first time about their huge screaming matches. She hinted that beneath the calm surface of their 20-year marriage lay a series of devastating losses, immense pressures, and unspoken hardships. The image the public had grown accustomed to was merely the surface, while the truth was entirely different. As the full story begins to emerge, it not only reshapes the public's perception of their marriage, but also carries the potential to deliver a genuine shock, revealing a narrative of profound resilience in the face of relentless adversity, the foundation of an adaptable relationship. To truly understand the endurance of this marriage, one must first understand the man who has stood beside Rachael Ray through it all, John Cusimano. Born on August 19, 1967, in Long Island, New York, Cusimano is a man of diverse talents and a complex personality. His primary profession is that of an entertainment lawyer in New York, a career that demands sharp intellect and discretion. At the same time, he embraces a completely different persona as the lead singer of the rock band The Cringe, where he unleashes a more expressive and public-facing side of himself. This contrast has defined his dual nature: a fiery rocker on stage and a quiet, unassuming husband in his private life, one who has never actively sought the spotlight his wife commands. Their first meeting in 2001 was not a fairy tale romance, but a direct and somewhat quirky encounter at a mutual friend's birthday party in New York. Ray has often recounted that she initially thought Cusimano might be gay because he was so enthusiastically describing a fish dish he had cooked. She was even planning to set him up with one of her male friends before he clarified his orientation. That clarification sparked a conversation that lasted until 4 in the morning, a night they both considered their first real date. From there, their relationship developed steadily and without public spectacle. 4 years later, on September 24, 2005, they held an intimate and private wedding ceremony at Castello di Vallona, a historic castle in Tuscany, Italy. The location was deeply meaningful to Ray, reflecting her profound love for Italian cuisine and culture. The event was reserved for only their closest family and friends, a quiet celebration that stood in stark contrast to Ray's global fame. Their commitment was further solidified 10 years later, in September 2015, when the couple returned to the very same castle in Tuscany to renew their wedding vows. This event was not a response to any marital trouble, but rather a deliberate affirmation of their enduring bond and long-term commitment. It was their way of emphasizing continuity and celebrating a love that had remained as strong as it was on their wedding day. Their life together was also built on a set of unique, unconventional principles that deviated from traditional marital norms. One of the most discussed aspects of their marriage is their decision not to have children. Rachael Ray has consistently explained that her incredibly demanding work schedule and the sheer volume of her professional responsibilities made her feel that she could not be the kind of mother she would want to be. She believed that balancing the all-consuming nature of her career with the needs of raising a child was an impossible task, and thus they made a conscious choice to forego parenthood. Furthermore, they cultivated a lifestyle Ray has recently described as living in separate corners. This philosophy does not imply emotional distance, but rather a deep, mutual respect for each other's personal space and independent routines. By not being together 24/7, they effectively minimized potential conflicts and allowed each other the freedom to pursue individual passions. For Ray, this meant uninterrupted time for writing and recipe development, while for John, it meant dedicated hours in his studio for his music. This respect for individuality was complemented by a deep professional partnership. John has long served as Rachel's personal lawyer, handling her legal and business affairs with a trusted hand. This collaborative dynamic became even more critical during the COVID-19 pandemic, when television production was forced to move into private homes. During this period, John seamlessly transitioned into a new set of roles, becoming his wife's cameraman, on-air mixologist, and all-around technical support, ensuring her show could continue without interruption. Their life is also spread across two distinct locations: a functional apartment in New York City and a cherished villa in Tuscany, Italy, which they purchased in 2018. The Italian villa became a sanctuary of tranquility for Ray, while John remained deeply connected to the vibrant energy of New York. It was this strong, adaptable foundation, built on mutual respect and professional collaboration, that would soon be tested by a series of catastrophic events that would have shattered a less resilient union. A 16-month series of shared tragedies. In the span of just 16 months, from May 2020 to September 2021, Rachael Ray and John Cusimano were forced to endure a relentless series of tragedies that struck one after another, leaving them with no time to recover emotionally or mentally. The first blow landed on May 20th, 2020, with the death of their beloved dog, Isabu. The 15-year-old pit bull was more than a pet. Ray and John considered her to be their child. Isabu had been a constant presence in their lives since 2005, a central part of their family unit. Her passing occurred during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns, a time when the couple was confined to their home. This constant proximity to their shared space meant that the grief was inescapable and felt more profoundly with each passing day. Rachael shared on Instagram that Isabu had died peacefully in their arms. Although John, true to his nature, made no public statements, the palpable change in their home's atmosphere and daily routines made it clear how deeply this loss had affected him. Just 3 months later, on the evening of August 9th, 2020, another disaster struck when their cherished home in Lake Luzerne, New York, was engulfed in flames. An official investigation later determined the fire was accidental, caused by a buildup of creosote in their chimney. In a terrifying moment, Rachael, John, Rachel's mother, and their new puppy, Bella, all managed to escape the burning structure without injury. While they were physically unharmed, the emotional and material devastation was immense. The fire consumed 15 years of their shared history, destroying countless personal belongings and irreplaceable memories. For John, the most heartbreaking loss was the complete destruction of his original music recordings for his band, The Cringe. These master tapes were the culmination of years of creative work, and no copies existed. In the aftermath, the couple moved into a small guest house on their property and began the long process of rebuilding. During this incredibly difficult time, John set aside his own projects and grief to become his wife's unwavering support system. He took over the technical production of her show, filming episodes, managing sound, and providing whatever assistance was necessary so she could continue her work from their temporary home. Just as they were beginning to find their footing while rebuilding their primary residence, misfortune struck yet again. In September 2021, their apartment in New York City was severely damaged by flooding caused by the remnants of Hurricane Ida. Rachael described the scene with horror, stating that their apartment had quite literally melted. The floodwaters destroyed furniture, professional equipment, and personal items. This was a particularly devastating blow for John, as the New York apartment served not only as a residence, but also as his primary workspace for both his legal career and his musical endeavors. This relentless sequence of events created a multi-layered sense of loss that compounded over time. First came the emotional loss of their beloved pet, followed by the physical loss of their main home and sanctuary, and finally, the loss of their professional workspace. Rachael powerfully summarized this period with a single haunting phrase: everything melted. Throughout this entire ordeal, John Cusimano remained a pillar of quiet strength. He never once complained publicly or sought sympathy by casting himself as a victim. Instead, he channeled his energy into supporting Rachael, providing the stability she needed to navigate the darkest period of their lives. His silent resilience in the face of such overwhelming loss was a testament to his profound inner fortitude. A personal tragedy and a quiet role reversal. After navigating the series of shared disasters, John Cusimano was confronted with a new, deeply personal form of grief. In March 2024, his mother passed away. This loss was a profound personal blow, striking at the heart of the man who had always kept his private emotions carefully guarded from the public eye. His reaction to this loss was entirely consistent with his reserved character. He shared a single, brief, and heartfelt tribute to his mother on his personal Instagram account. But he offered no extended commentary or public interviews about his grief. Following her passing, his already limited public presence diminished even further. His musical activities with the Cringe also slowed, indicating a need for private time to process his sorrow. This difficult period marked the first significant role reversal in their marriage. Whereas John had been the silent, supportive anchor during their shared tragedies, Rachael now stepped forward to become the primary emotional pillar for him. She proactively adjusted her demanding work schedule to ensure she could be by his side, offering comfort and support. In her public statements, she became fiercely protective of her husband's privacy, making it clear that her family's well-being was her top priority. There was also a notable difference in their circumstances. Rachael still had her own mother for support, whereas John had just lost his. This emotional imbalance made Rachael's role as his protector and confidant all the more critical. This quiet shift was a powerful demonstration of the adaptability and strength inherent in their separate corners marriage. It proved that their independent lifestyles did not preclude deep interdependence. When one partner was weakened by grief, the other instinctively stepped up to provide strength. This role reversal happened organically, without any public conflict, and ultimately served to deepen their bond in a private, meaningful way. They showed that a lasting marriage is not one that avoids storms, but one that knows how to navigate them together, with each partner willing to take the helm when the other cannot. The battle with fabricated tragedies and rumors. In addition to the very real tragedies they faced, Rachael Ray and John Cusimano have been forced to wage a different kind of war, a long and exhausting battle against a relentless stream of baseless rumors and fabricated dramas circulating online. The first wave of such rumors hit them early in their marriage, between 2005 and 2007. Tabloid magazines published sensational stories accusing John of infidelity, with some reports going so far as to claim he was involved in swingers clubs and had cheated on his wife on multiple occasions. In response to these attacks, Rachael mounted a fierce and public defense of her husband. She made her position unequivocally clear in interviews, stating, "I trust my husband and I know where he is every night." Her strong and unwavering stance was effective at the time, largely silencing the gossip. However, in the age of social media and viral content, a new and more insidious wave of rumors began to circulate between 2024 and 2026. This time, the false narratives were more varied and persistent, spread through clickbait YouTube titles and social media posts. These fabricated stories included claims that the couple was on the verge of divorce and living separately, that they had a secret child hidden from the public, and that Rachael Ray was suffering from a serious illness, a rumor fueled by viewers who misinterpreted her appearance or speech in videos. The proliferation of these modern rumors can be attributed to several key factors. First, Rachael's own candid admissions on her podcast were taken out of context. Her mention of huge screaming matches and their separate corners lifestyle was misinterpreted by many as a sign of a failing marriage. They ignored her crucial follow-up explanation that their arguments were resolved quickly and lovingly, representing a healthy process of conflict, acknowledgement, and resolution. Second, the couple's intensely private nature created an information vacuum. Because John almost never speaks to the media about his personal life, and Rachael has become more guarded over time, there is a lack of factual information available to the public. This void is easily filled by speculation and outright fiction. Finally, their more recent strategy of not forcefully refuting every rumor has allowed these false stories to fester and grow. Unlike her aggressive defense in the past, their current silence has been misread by some as confirmation, allowing the rumors to persist unchallenged. Ultimately, a stark contrast exists between the two types of hardship they have endured. The real tragedies, the death of their dog, the house fire, the apartment flood, and the loss of John's mother, were concrete, verifiable events that caused tangible and profound suffering. In contrast, the fabricated tragedies exist only in the digital ether, constructed from baseless speculation and driven by a desire for clicks, with no credible sources to support them. Reflecting on John Cusimano's journey of more than 2 decades alongside one of America's most recognizable television personalities, it becomes clear that he is not a tragic figure in the conventional sense. He has not experienced a public downfall or a scandalous collapse. Instead, his life has been quietly shaped by the immense weight of real-world loss, profound personal grief, and the unending pressure of public speculation. The way John Cusimano has responded to this relentless stream of adversity has redefined the role of a celebrity spouse. He has consistently chosen a path of quiet support, serving as a stable foundation for his wife, while adapting to every challenge without ever seeking personal recognition or the spotlight. He has offered no excuses, voiced no public complaints, and refused to cast himself as a victim of his circumstances. Their marriage offers a profound lesson on the nature of long-term partnership. Stability is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to resolve it effectively. True strength in a relationship comes from flexibility, the willingness to switch roles when needed, and a foundational respect for each other's individuality. In a world that often demands constant public performance, the story of John Cusimano and Rachael Ray is a powerful testament to the strength of a quiet love and a resilient spirit. Through every fire, flood, and false rumor, John has remained a constant, not as a co-star, but as a life partner. Perhaps, as Rachael Ray herself once said, despite all the trials, John has always been, and will always be, the right recipe for her life.